Physical training program, which included 2, 3, and 4-mile runs, push-ups, pull-ups, and sit-ups. Most importantly, they learned to work together as a team through everyday events to include the teamwork, development obstacle course. After 3 weeks, they moved into white phase and began the process of learning how to fire their assigned weapon. Over the next 2 weeks, these men learned how to engage and destroy the enemy with their M16 A4 rifle. Also during white phase, the soldiers threw live hand grenades, trained on and fired U.S. weapons such as the M249 squad automatic machine gun and the M240 Bravo machine gun and the M2 50 caliber machine gun. Finally, they trained on tactical movements, which included urban operations such as entering and clearing rooms. During our final phase, these men to seek to serve a greater purpose. I want to leave you with one final story. Gallup conducted a poll on what adults thought of America's young people. The results said that young Americans are lazy. It said they listen to bad music and they don't dress well. It concluded they are disrespectful to authority and they'll never amount to much. That poll came out in 1939, and those young people won World War II and became what is known as the greatest generation. I don't have a term to describe the next greatest generation, but ladies and gentlemen, this is what they look like.
Over here.
Drill sergeant! Why don't you leave me alone? Why don't you let me go home?
Ladies and gentlemen, standing before you is the First Sergeant and Drill Sergeant of Echo Company 2nd Battalion, 47th Infantry Regiment. The senior non-commissioned officer of the company is First Sergeant Joe Walton, infantryman. The Echo Company Drill Sergeant's officer is free to court, but the military use of the berets is a relatively recent phenomenon. Scottish Highland troops wore upon it in the 17th and 18th centuries, while headgear most people now know as the beret was worn in the Basque region of France and Spain during the same period. Widespread use of the beret among Western armies didn't begin until the 20th century, when French tank crews in World War I wore the small Basque version as well as a larger, floppier variety. The first use of the modern beret in the U.S. military was in 1943, when a battalion of the 509th Parachute Infantry Regiment was given maroon berets by their British counterparts for their service in World War II. The first widespread use of the headgear by U.S. forces came shortly after, when a new Army organization that was specially trained for insurgency and counter-guerrilla warfare began wearing a green variety in 1953. It took another 8 years for the Army Special Forces, the Green Berets, to win presidential approval from John F. Kennedy to make their headgear official. In the 1970s, Army policy allowed local commanders to encourage morale-enhancing uniform distinctions, and thus the use of the berets boomed. Armored personnel at Fort Knox, Kentucky wore the traditional British black beret, while U.S. armored cavalry regiments in Germany wore the black beret with a red and white oval. Troops of the 82nd Airborne Division at Fort Bragg, North Carolina began wearing the maroon beret in 1973. In 1975, the Airborne Rangers received approval from the Army Chief of Staff to use the black beret as their official headgear. Again, on March 16, 2001, the Army Chief of Staff redesignated a tan beret as their new official headgear. The black beret fosters an attitude of excellence among the entire Army as it moves forward with its sweeping transformation effort to a lighter, more deployable, and more agile force. Today's Army is an expeditionary force that stands ready to deploy, engage, and destroy the enemies of the United States. To symbolize this, the Army adopted the black beret for wear Army-wide. Effective 14 June 2001, the first Army birthday in the new millennium, the black beret became the standard wear in the Army, active, and reserve components. The men of Echo Company, 2nd Battalion, 47th Infantry Regiment have now earned the title of soldier and are now authorized to wear the distinctive black beret. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, the commander of Echo Company, 2nd Battalion, 47th Infantry Regiment, Captain Dan Shellis.
I hope you enjoyed the day with your soldier. Let me finish with a couple important notes about conduct during Family Day. First, married and engaged soldiers and their families are required to attend a mandatory briefing following this event located in Battalion Classroom 1, which is located through the hallway behind me and marked as ACS briefing. There's a sign-in sheet when you first walk in, so please sign in before you take a seat. We will share some very important information that will hopefully make your transition in the Army life a little smoother. If you're not married or engaged to a soldier, would still like a copy of the ACS book, they're located in the white tents located to my left. Please make sure that your soldier returns by 8:45 p.m. tonight in good health and is prepared to participate in the graduation ceremony tomorrow. It is not permitted by Army regulation to drive a car or to use tobacco or alcohol products. You must stay in his present uniform and remain in the Fort Benning, Columbus, or Phoenix City area.